opportunity for us. It's a new facility, so it's all new for us, but it's ultimately just gonna be some basic music making. We can go along with some standards, some classics, we can bring in some drums, some percussion, you know, it's very open to what we can do with them. So the first opportunity for that will be on the 11th, so that's not the 11th.
11th.
On the 11th, I believe we're saying at 6:30, at the moment is what we're going with. So that's next Tuesday. So if you're, yeah.
And what is that for again, for the live video?
Oh, this is for, it's a live-in care facility for adults with autism, and they're looking to have some music activities that are going on, and so welcome, come on in. And so they're looking to have some kind of musical activities going on with the residents there. So they've asked MTSO if we would like to be involved. There could also be a collaboration with them with Rainbow Connection. We also are going to be doing grad rep nominations because we lost our other grad rep that we had elected over the summer, that she is getting married and has a lot of things going on. So we're looking to elect another grad rep, probably from the 3-year program that's in their final year, so we can time that adequately so that we have representation from those different generations of grad rep students, because otherwise it gets a little tricky. So those nominations will be online, so we'll send out via the MTSO email, and then you can nominate, and it'll be open for like a week. We'll get all the information in email from us. And then, of course, we also have our dues. So we have the option this year that you can either do $5 a semester or $10 for the full year. The $10, if you do it right now, gets you a free t-shirt while the supplies last. If we run out of t-shirts, then you get a water bottle. We have a Venmo now, so you don't have to worry about like always bringing cash. And so this is our treasurer's Venmo, and you can send it to her, and just title it MTSO dues. Yeah.
How long are we accepting dues until?
Until October
1st.
1st.
It was, no, it was the 3rd week of October.
Yeah, I want to say it was like the 14th.
It's the 3rd week of October on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because we have our meetings on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, it's the 10th, because it's the Wednesday after fall break. So.
Oh, right.
That'd be all night.
Yes, October 10th. Yes.
For first place, how long are the sessions? Like an hour or?
That's all up to us ultimately. The woman was asking if Anne at first place was asking 30, 45 minutes.
Okay.
Ultimately it's up to whatever we can offer them. It's a very open book right now with them. But this is what we've worked out so far, is possibly the 11th at 6:30. We'll get a read from you later.
Should we accept dues right now, or should we do it at the end of the meeting?
If you want to, go on Venmo right now and pay your dues, it's really quick. If you want to do cash later, that's open to whatever. We have a little bit of time at the end of the meeting, so. Yeah. Any other questions? Cool. All right. Well, I think we should close in the circle a little bit. Make it more of a circle.
And this is the first one of the year, right?
This is our first one.
How many brand new people here? First meeting ever?
Woo!
Welcome. All right.
Yay.
Now, close in the circle.
Oh.
We'll add we'll get you a chair. How's it going? Frank, should we get drums, or do you want to speak first, or?
Yes.
Okay.
As long as it's not hard.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, open it up. There we go. Here we grab a drum.
Get a chair.
plenty of other percussion instruments in here.
There's some hand drums.
Yeah, some hand
Yeah.
drums, some bongos over there.
Yeah,
Yep.
bongos.
I'm just like, there's too many people over there.
Just say grab something to hit. Yep.
Oh, nice. It's a double. 2 for 1.
There you go.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Okay, good to see you.
Wait, you know him? How? Oh, right, yes. Yeah. Do you like the Bruce? Say it. Am I right?
I can never count. How many do we have here altogether, excluding me?
14 excluding you.
How many?
14.
Even number. I'll brag. How's everybody today? Good. Welcome to your first MTSO meeting, if it is. And for those of you that are veterans, welcome. So I've been asked to cover a couple of subjects, and I'm going to yap about some stuff, talk a little bit about the course that I teach, and try to leave you with a couple skill sets that I think are essential to music therapists. A little bit of background about me. Who is this guy showing up here and talking to us on our first day? And why is he here? I'm Frank Thompson. I teach the Health Rhythms and Drum Circle Facilitation course here. And I get most of the music therapists coming through and several music ed majors. And my background, I come from the corporate world. I was an exec, rented some stuff, doing things at different companies for a long time. Spent about 25 years doing that. And then as soon as our daughter graduated school, I turned in my corporate card and said I want to be a drum circle facilitator and try to make music and build a business around that. So I'm going to talk with you a little bit about what I think is most important for music therapists to know, especially when you're just coming in, is that your skill sets are transferable, okay, in many different ways. And to really double click it, and as you're going through your academic career and developing your skill sets, to really remember that you have transferable skills. And this is a person from the business corporate environment telling you that. One of the things that was stunning to me, because I'm not a music therapist by training, I train them. I am a CBMT, I'm a continuing ed provider by CBMT. So I've been around the industry for quite a while now, but I was stunned at how music therapists didn't know how transferable their skill sets are when you go out into the marketplace. How do you begin to present yourself as a business if you're going to run your own business, or as an employee? And those of us who have extreme talents in being musical, and when we choose to put ourselves in the service of others, how do we make sure that we can service ourselves financially through working and again owning a business? And sometimes, or I found out we often don't think about that. And I wanted to kind of double click on that, and plus give you a communication model. We sound good? All right, and we'll do a little drum circle facilitation. So, some of you, if you've been in my class, you're going to be familiar with SBI, but I'll go through that as one transferable technique. Please do me a favor, repeat after me. I. That means me.
That means me.
Now point at yourself and say it again.
I.
That means me.
That means me.
We'll ask Frank at least one question that's meaningless.
We'll ask Frank at least one question that's meaningful.
Okay, and the reason is, I hate the lecture. I'm pretty good at it, built a career on it. But if I can answer questions for you that have meaning, it's much more effective, right? So, here's what I'd like to do now, is I'm gonna go through and describe a model called SBI. Called what?
SBI.
And the first word is standard, the second word is behavior, and the last one is impact. Watch me write it. Did you see it? Good, I'm fast. Okay, now, and I have lots of jokes, nobody laughs on them, so don't feel compelled. It's okay, I just keep throwing them out there anyway. So when we chat with somebody, we're having a discussion, if you want to give somebody feedback, what is feedback? Let me see some hands. What is feedback? Somebody answer that. What is it? What is it?
It's where someone does something and you kind of use the SBI to say like, and so the standard was to lead the drum circles thing, and then like the behavior, but you did some count off that really helped, and the impact was it made us all cohesive.
Outstanding. Thank you. And what other kind of feedback do we get? When we think of feedback, what do we think about?
Good job.
Good job. Oh yeah, it's a good one.
Good try.
What's another one?
Constructive criticism.
Oh, constructive, yeah. So way to break me down constructively. Yep, that's good. What else do we hear? You ever hear a feedback sandwich? Hey, you did this pretty good. But you're still all right, right?
Yeah.
And I call that waiting. Let me put some anesthesia on it real quick. So it doesn't, and now I'm going to tell you what I really mean. Oh, did it hurt that much? And the impact of that is that it's inauthentic, right? So I'm going to give you a model, a real quick model, on something that you can use based on what you see or what you hear. Based on what?
What you see and what you hear.
Okay, and what kind of facilitation process am I practicing right now?
Call and response.
Call and response. And as a drum circle facilitator, it is my best friend right next to rumbling, which is another story. Okay, so a standard is a rule, something that you should. It ought to be done. That's the way. What's the standard?
Something you should do.
Yeah, now let me let me demonstrate. Everybody close their eyes. Okay, now we're going to learn a model called SBI. What's it called?
SBI.
Now remember, there's a gazillion models out there. This is just one of them, and I happen to like it, okay? And this is the one I teach, all right? So how many models are out there? Could be even more than that, but okay, so this is SBI, so don't walk around saying, oh, this is the only one. I like it a lot. Good? All right, close your eyes. I want you to imagine a tall glass that is that can hold 12 ounces. Does everybody have it in their mind?
Yep.
Okay. Now in that glass, on that glass, I want you to draw a circle around it with a Sharpie at the halfway point. Can you see it? Okay. Anybody need more time to draw it? Good. All right. So now you have a glass that can hold 12 ounces, and we are going to now pour in liquid water. Okay? So I'm pouring water into the glass. The standard is, or the rule, or what I ought to do, is pour in 6 ounces. So I now pour in 6 ounces, and it matches immediately what is on that median line, right? 6 ounces, right? What's the standard?
6 ounces.
What's the behavior that I pictured, that I painted for you?
Pouring the water.
Okay. What's left? Impact, right? Now open your eyes. Now I have a question for you. Is the glass half empty or half full?
It's up to you.
That's the impact. Okay? What's the rule?
6 ounces.
6 ounces. What did you see?
The pour.
What's the impact? It's interpreted. It can be interpreted. That's a matter of perception. Okay? Let me give you another. We good? Standard? 6 ounces. Behavior? I saw it. Impact? It could be half full. It could be half empty. How does that matter? Here's some real basic examples. You're supposed to drive on the right-hand side of the road. What I saw was you going in the wrong direction. The impact is you got a ticket because the police saw you first before you had an accident. Make sense? Okay. The standard is if you have shoelaces on your shoe, you should tie them up. What I see is that they're untied. The impact is I just saw you trip and fall. Can there be any disagreement about what we see or what we hear? That's the fact. Okay? How it is interpreted is up to the individual. Okay? The standard is have your shoes tied. The behavior is your shoes are untied. The impact is you haven't fallen yet, but I just think you're stupid for not tying your shoes. Where I come from, the standard is that the shoes are untied. The behavior, you see them untied. That's how we say hello when we walk up to one another. We don't know. But what can we agree on? The shoes are untied, right? The standard is, as a music therapist, is that you should graduate, become board certified, and begin a career or practice on your own. The behavior that I've seen some people do for drum circle facilitators is that they'll say they're out there doing music therapy. not music therapists. The impact is that there's confusion in the marketplace. They may be a drum circle facilitator, but they're not doing music therapy. That's a licensed profession. The impact is you can have people out there impacting your business and your position in the marketplace because people aren't familiar with what you really do. Are these making sense? Okay, everybody stand up, pair off. Oh, wait. Somebody give me a question.
Have you used a different, like, model than SBR before?
Yes.
What?
I don't remember because I just found SBI now. Because they're all similar. They come, but what helped me with SBI is it forces to talk about agreement. Can we agree on this? Yes. Okay. How do you interpret it? Well, that's just opinion or feelings, which are real. But then we can talk about those separately. But let's agree that we can see and observe the same thing. Can I answer that question? Okay. Okay. All right. Pair off. With the person you know the least.
Okay, I know.
Okay, everybody hold. And I'm doing a little bit of teaching here. I'm gonna go fast. I'm gonna go what?
Fast.
Okay, now when I say as a facilitator, drum circle facilitator, what have I just done as a facilitation mode to connect for team building and connectivity?
Asked, like, if we heard what you said.
Yes. And I also said go to the person that you know the least. So that engages you to connect with someone that you're unfamiliar with. Make sense? So when you are facilitating, what you'll learn in my class in health rhythms and drum circle facilitation, how do you connect the group? What are the many ways that you can use to make sure that people feel connected and bonded? Okay, pair off with the person that you know the least.
Yeah, no.
Hi. I know that. Yay.
Have a team walk
Okay, face each other.
hand.
Okay.
The small.
Here are your instructions. You must introduce yourselves. These are the standards. This is a rule, right? You must introduce yourself to that person. Tell them where one of your parents were born. If you know, if not, make up a city. Okay? And the impact of that city on your life or lack thereof. Go. You each have about a minute to discuss it.
Sure. I'm Hallie.
Hello, I'm Sonia. My dad is
Hey, go over there. That's all right. Yeah, we got Okay. Halfway through. Amen, right? Okay. Congrats. You're welcome. Okay, everybody hold. Everybody hold. Did everybody have a chance to exchange? Okay, does anybody need more time? Okay, good. All right. What I was trying to do was say that the standard of giving people an opportunity wanting to get to know each other is one, put them in a place where they can, give them something to share, and then let them talk. Somebody give me an SBI of what you just saw. Did I just give you the rules?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody give it back to me in an SBI. How did it go?
So the standard was to talk to someone, share your name, introduce yourself, where your parent was born.
Let me clean it up just a little bit. What did I do as a facilitator? Somebody critique me. Well, that's what I'm asking. I'll clarify that a little bit. As a facilitator, when you're doing an opening activity, the standard is to put people in a situation where they can share, have clear instructions, and the impact is whatever it is. So what is the standard? What did I do? So give me feedback as an SPI. You're critiquing me now. You're observing me. You're giving me feedback on what did you see or what did you hear me do. Am I being clear?
Yes.
Okay, make it happen. I'm gonna listen for a while.
Your instructions were clear, so
Mhm.
it gave us the ability to interact with each other and share.
And what was the impact?
That we got to know the person a little bit more.
Yes. Okay, another one? That pretty much wraps it up. Okay. All right, now what I want you to do is get together and talk with somebody that you know a lot, make it happen, go.
There's like two.
I know one person who
go meet somebody else. Hurry up, go. Okay, go meet somebody else. All right, one more person. All right, now go again. Do somebody else. All right, back to your chairs. I'm exaggerating. Which one of those was more effective at meeting the goal? Compare the two. Same goal. I just did a different exercise, right?
Right.
Tell me the difference. Give me an observation of what you saw or heard that was different and the impact. Yes.
So the second one, the standard was to say hi to someone you know the most, and then trade once you said it. Behavior was, didn't give us a lot of time to introduce ourselves. Another behavior was, started with the person you know the most, so the impact was, we didn't get to build as in-depth of a bond with our people.
What else did you see or hear?
Well, everybody got a lot louder when we were trying to talk over each other. So the impact of that was we all ended up still talking louder, trying to be heard by the person.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, and so when you compare the two, I would call the first one more effective towards meeting the goal, which was getting people to connect and engage, right? Instead of talking at each other, talking with each other. And the instructions were less clear. They were more random, right? And so the behavior you saw from a facilitator was just someone sending people out, just go yippee yapping. I just felt I was just walking around talking to people for no reason. And the impact is it can be confusing. Yeah, we good. Everybody take their drum and hit it in the middle. And now hit it with the other hand in the middle. And that's going to be a little easier. There we go. All right, what did I do as a facilitator? So, the role of a facilitator is to make it easy for others to play. What did I observe? What did I do with that? I'm sorry, I didn't even know your name. Betty? I'm Frank. Nice to meet you. Okay. What did I do with Betty?
You noticed that drum was not going to be helpful for the exercise.
What's the impact of that?
She can now participate fully.
What if Betty really liked that drum? What if this was her drum from like forever long ago? Did I ask her for permission?
No.
I just took it and did it. The observation is we think it's okay. But what if Betty, I really wanted that drum? She may never come back because, dude, I just showed up with my drum, the dude just took it. Right? So we all saw the same thing, but we could interpret it differently, right? So we can't assume. Normally I would say, hey, Betty, it looks like that drum's a little short. Might want a taller one, if possible. Great, okay, then wouldn't that be the full thing to do?
Yes.
To engage someone as opposed to, oh, I'm the master, here you go, that drum's just too short, right? It's a something.
Yeah.
So part of the SBI model is to be able to look and make sure that you see things, associate what they are, but the impact you don't know unless you inquire. You can have an idea, but you have to ask. Yeah? Okay. So what's the name of that model? That's a real quick introduction. SBI. Say SBI.
SBI. Yeah.
Standard Behavior Impact. Cool. Is that a good enough quick overview?
Yep.
All right. And you sign your name. We'll put it up here. Hit the drum in the middle. All right. One more time. Now, amazingly, it works for the other hand. Hit that one in the middle too. Yep. Say that's my middle hand. No, you don't have one. Just kidding. Okay. And let's just drum a little bit. Here we go. Drum. Seconds. How long?
20 seconds.
And I want you to come up with a thought of why MTSO is going to be a good thing for you. Got it? 20 seconds. Make it happen. You've got to make something that's still land sure. It's okay. It'll still sound good. If you need more time, say need more time. 1, 2, let's all drum. I think I'll like MTSO because, and whatever reason you had thought of. Got it? 1, 2, let's all drum. 1, 2, here we go.
I think I'll like MTSO because it will be a good way to build our community.
1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, here we go. Please choose someone.
Taryn.
I think that it will benefit me to join MTSO because it lets me make connections with people of similar interests.
1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, here we go. Please choose somebody.
I think I'll like MTSO because it gives me opportunities to grow as a professional and a leader while still a student.
And everybody like finger drum roll? And please choose someone else.
I think that I'm glad to join MTSO because I'm excited to learn about all the new different ways that music therapy works in the field.
Sandstorm. Choose somebody else.
Ellie.
So I'm new here and I'm international student, so I just want to make new friends and practice my spoken English. I think
Thank you. And please choose someone else. And it's okay to point to people you don't know.
I'm going to like MTSO because I get to be president this year. I have that privilege, and I'm really excited to get some speakers in here and build our community as music therapy students.
1, 2, here we go. And huggable.
And huggable.
1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, play the drum to your right. 1, 2, to the left. 1, 2, 1 in each hand. And repeat after me. Look at us. We are drumming. We are cool. We are connected. Close one eye. Look around the room and just give me the old pirate eye. 1, 2, to your drum. 1, 2, let's go. So this is part of the silliness that comes with drum facilitation. Very cool stuff, right? Yeah, very cool stuff. Okay, so how many of you think that you're going to be working in the field or can dream of working in the field or owning your own business in the field of music therapy? Okay, all right, so somewhere in the middle. Is there anything else besides working for someone else or owning your own stuff? Okay, so your skill sets as music therapists, here's the one I want to kind of double click on quite a bit, are transferable. The planning skills, the interpretive skills, the ability to write, to consult with clients, they are extremely powerful. Your training will be in clinical settings as you develop your discipline and skill set around that, but your ability to communicate what you do and how you do it on a one-on-one client basis or in a group basis, and some of those skill sets you'll learn from in a group setting, are incredibly powerful skills. One of the reasons why I've enjoyed coming into the world of music therapy from my background is to share that information. Because as a hiring manager for many people over my career, it wasn't the person who had the most skills that got the job. It was the person who could describe what they do and engage and celebrate themselves. It's not the most glib. It's not the happiest person. It's the whole person. Can they tell me how their skills apply? Can they tell me how they fit in? What are they trying to do? If you're going to develop your own practice as a music therapist, how are you going to create clients? How do you service that client in a professional way? How do you, if you're gonna be working for someone else and representing them as a therapist on staff, how do you sell yourself internally to build a career? How do you position with others? All of these things are powerful observational skills that you learn as a music therapist because you're engaged in the behavior development of other chats. Powerful, powerful skill sets. So as you go through your academic career and your skill set career, I really encourage you to go through with open eyes and open ears and think, boy, because I'm learning this here, I can apply this in that type of area. Listening skills, interpretive skills. Sitting in a group setting, and you will find yourself when you're working in a, again, corporate setting or even your own business, where you're sitting around sitting with a group of people, and to be able to interpret the behavior that's going on in that group can be career impacting. That is a strong skill set. Most people won't tell you that. It's like, well, go to school, go to a meeting, and I don't know. When you're sitting and you're in a group dynamic where you're doing a one-on-one situation, your powerful skills to observe and then to react are incredibly meaningful. Your sense of timing, do you know when to say something, how to say something, how to comfort, how to engage, all of these are really incredibly important things. And if you can leverage them in ways that a music therapist can, because they're trained observers, they're trained from the heart, and they're trained to care, it'll have great impact. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked me a couple questions. Okay, just one.
Oh, wait, what?
Mhm.
I'm actually taking a class on improvisation this
Mhm.
semester, and I just read the chapter where it talks about, at the end, the difference between clinical improvisation and drum circle.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that is brought up is that clinical improvisation has like specific therapeutic goals and drum circles don't.
Mhm.
Do you, so my question is, do you, apply like certain therapeutic goals or assessment with your group, or do you just or are you just using drum circle for like cohesion among your?
Yes, to all that. So the question, each group is different, so what the question I hear you asking is, hey, is there a distinction between clinical development within a drum circle or just engagement? Is that?
I think so.
Okay. I'm not a music therapist, so nothing that I do, I would call music therapy. It may be therapeutic in being in the moment, but only a music therapist can take a person from A to Z on a plan or working in conjunction with counseling or something. Otherwise, I'm just a talent facilitator doing that. The other half of that question is if I'm engaging in a drum circle with, and I've done most every population. I say most every because somebody will say, have you done with that one? No, it's that one. But I've done probably most every population. But the goals are different, okay? In my walk and the way that I approach, I'm constantly about building community. And for that one moment in time when we're all together, am I creating safe space for people to play and to engage and get connected? That is my artistry, okay? Now, does it have a therapeutic impact? I'm absolutely certain it does. When I do the Health Rhythms Protocol as a facilitator, which is the class that I teach, and I'm doing all of those steps, then my goal for that is to follow the steps of the protocol so they can have a positive impact on the mind-body relationship. My artistry and technique and skill as a facilitator allow me to do that, okay? My number one thing is I'm always facilitating to the least capable person in the group. For me, that works. It's never about the flashy or the overly happy. I'm facilitating so that that person who's coming in for that moment, you know what? It's safe to be here. That's where my heart and gift is. And then from that, they'll come back again. Did I answer that question? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good deal. Yes.
We got some drumming interventions.
Yes.
Maybe like some icebreakers.
Okay. Everybody stand up. it, step in front of the circle. I'm sorry, my bad, step in front of the drum. Okay. Now turn around with the bass drum. Okay. And put your arms, elbows touching person next to you, just like this. All right, just one, this one. Okay. Now drum together at the same time as a pair.
Here, I'll speak back up.
Okay, hold on, good. So we should have only go. So everybody should only be touching one elbow, right? All right. So watch this. Everybody turn back around. Look at me real quick, just like this, just like that. Now, drum as a pair. Make that happen.
I have a different technique.
Okay, switch elbows. Okay, switch elbows again. Stand on one leg. Look at somebody with one eye. And smile and say, I can't believe I'm trying to do this. I can't believe I'm trying to do this. Okay, everybody stop before I have you fall over. That is one thing we call an icebreaker. Just get people to smile and do something completely ridiculous. Okay, everybody. Me and then you. That'd be another icebreaker.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, just being silly with it, okay? Another thing I want you to do is take out your left palm like that. Put a good thought, that'd be your left. There. Say it's empty.
It's empty.
I need to put something in it. Quickly. Go over there to one of those drawers, get something that'll fit in your hand, put it in.
We have egg shakers. I'm still like, if no one has taken.
You were not wrong.
You were not wrong.
I feel like they were serving these, but all right.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
I
You got
know.
your stuff, so you can put back in
All
the same
of it.
spot.
Oh, you okay?
We're surviving. We're surviving. I think it's just getting adjusted to
Have
it.
you tried?
I haven't tried yet.
Then you're in a good spot.
Yeah.
You got this.
Thank you.
You're good.
Yeah, we'll see. I might explode.
Okay, that's okay,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Real fun.
Child music? Yeah. I think so. I mean, there's like, if they're in studio, there's studio like 11 to 12 early morning. There's nothing, I wouldn't say there's anything after 1 or 2.
Okay, to help with this program, our protocol that I teach is about using recreational music making, community music making with drums as a tool to build community and have people lose stress and have some fun together. Sound good? All right. So we have there's different components to it. This is a little something we call an icebreaker. Everybody hold out their little thingy that they have in their hand. Take your left palm, put it there. Gotta be an open one, yep. And then whatever you have, put in it. Turn around and look at the left palm of the person next to you and describe what they have. All right, it's gonna be interesting.
Oh,
Take your open palm of your right hand, cover up or grab what's in your left palm.
Same.
Yep. Okay, this will be the easy part.
Yeah.
Pick it up and pass it to the open palm of the person next to you like that. And stay connected like this. Somebody's got a really hefty thing over there. Yep. And go, okay, we're connected.
Okay, we're connected.
Now take and go get it. And pass it to the next. No. Take. And pass.
Oh God. I already messed it up.
Take. And pass. Take. And pass. want to.
I got really caught by that deal.
Yeah. That's a real simple thing.
I don't know what happened.
That's a real simple thing that we do. We call it an icebreaker. It's just about breaking the ice and having some fun. So we teach a lot of techniques like that as well. All right. So 1, 2, let's all drum. 1, 2, percussion only. 1, 2, march in place. This is heavy beat right here. Keep going, clap your hands if you got open hands. Add a sound. 1, 2, just the guys. It's rare. 1, 2, just the girls. 1, 2, everybody. Clap everyone. Facilitator is to have an environment where everybody feels that they can participate freely. You've seen me facilitate for a few minutes. Somebody use an SBI and give me, have I demonstrated or told the standard?
Yeah.
Somebody give me an SBI on what you saw. Can you do? Give me feedback using that model.
So the standard was to get everyone to feel comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and the behavior was that you your whole script, your whole words helped us feel like we can pass it or touch hands or be connected, and then the impact with everybody smiling and laughing and giggling and throwing instruments at each other and stuff. That was good.
Especially throwing them at each other.
Yeah.
Yes. Good. Yeah.
There was another icebreaker that I remember we did that we were all on each other's drums, and then we were spelling each other's names.
I haven't gotten it right yet.
It seems like a ridiculous exercise.
Well, let's try it. Shall we do it?
Yes,
All right.
because it's a really great
It's a good one.
Because you end up you're trying to spell each other's names,
Okay.
and it ends up making no sense.
Observe. That was our class that did that.
Yeah,
No.
that was our class.
Okay, I'm gonna go first.
Oh no.
My name is Frank. Yeah.
My name is
Oh no, so you're gonna go R, A,
Oh, A.
N,
What?
K.
K.
Okay. So now she says her name and we spell it around.
Okay. Your name, my name.
Yours.
Okay, Callie.
Then you start it.
So H.
Use your hand.
Oh, H.
A.
L.
L. I.
Y.
So close.
So close.
All right, so we'll go there. Now your name.
2. So,
Do you want to give us a starting letter?
sorry?
Yep, yeah, you're good. You got T. What's next?
You?
No.
How you spell it?
T-O-O.
Uh-oh. All right, here we go. Try again.
So,
Oh.
oh.
Oh, great.
Sorry.
Is it no?
No, it's mine, right? Yeah? Okay. Wow. Alright. My name is Sophie. S.
Oh. Oh yeah. H.
I.
E. Good job.
All right. Here we go.
Alright, my name's Taryn. T.
A.
R.
Y.
Yep. N. Oh, whoops. My bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So is my turn.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Betty.
T.
T. Y.
Hey.
say your name and spell it backwards, going the other way.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
go for it.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
My name's Catherine. E.
Oh no.
I think you should spell it.
That way. Are we this way?
The opposite way. 'cause we're gonna-
Opposite.
Okay.
Opposite.
Wait, start over.
My name's Catherine. E.
N.
I'm literally confused.
Catherine.
Everybody hold. What is everybody doing around the spelling of that name right now?
Laughing.
Laughing. That's the entire thing. Okay, so there's a million icebreakers. Yeah, relax a little bit, relax a bit. So that was one of the better ones that came out of it. So yeah, I've tried to do that in public many times. I still haven't gotten it right. So we just have fun with it. But that's a great additional icebreaker. But the purpose of the icebreakers is just to engage people, to smile, and to feel connected. More questions for me? I'm all ears.
How long have you been doing health rhythms for?
I've been doing health rhythms for about 15, 16 years now, almost since the program was conceived. I'm the first of the second generation. Dr. Bittman, Dr. Barry Bittman, a neurologist, along with Christine Stevens, a social worker and music therapist, who created the program, along with a couple others, funded by Remo. And I was the first one to teach it beyond the creators, and the only one teaching it at a university as a course.
Do you have to get certified for health rhythms?
It's a training, it is not a certification. So this program is about teaching lay people with no musical ability or background to engage and to be able to facilitate, to make easy a recreational music making experience. It's not a class. It's an opportunity to engage and build community through music, simply using these as tools.
So how do you market yourself? Do you say,
Mhm.
hey, like, I facilitate health rhythms to companies, and they're
Yes.
like, yes, like
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
And you have to show them like the research behind it, or?
Some people ask, some don't, and it is an evidence-based program, which is what drew it to me. It's just not, based on nothing. It's evidence-based, and one of the original programs, if not the original program, that showed how using community music making does that. But as a professional drum circle facilitator and facilitator, I approach companies and organizations and tell them that I have stress mitigation strategies. And one of them is to provide a community-based music making experience. That's evidence-based, it's health rhythms, and typically I'm rarely asked for a bunch of research. No, but if they do ask, I have it, and I provide it to them. So did I answer that question okay? Okay, very good questions, please.
Health rhythms only offer late at night.
Yes. I'm very nocturnal. Yeah, yeah, 7:30 on Thursdays, maybe I can't come to this main campus, I just can't. Yeah, so, but it'll be Thursday nights, yeah.
It's worth it, like 7:30 to 9:10.
Yeah, 7:30 to 9:10.
You hardly ever stay at the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we, pretty safe to say we hit it hard.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's and I'm very applied focused, okay, so I know everybody can read and write, so I let you do that, I give you some assignments, we take care of that, but we are in the working, okay, because you need to leave competent in the skill sets that you can go out and do this, okay, so I'm very applied focused.
So after we take that class, can I say to
You're-
like companies, hey,
Yes,
I'm trained in
you
health.
are, you are trained in health rhythms. Yeah.
Another cool thing about
is
this
that like, oh, sorry.
class is when I say to underclassmen that you can take this class to replace your percussion methods class.
That was my
I highly
lifesaver.
recommend it. So
Yeah.
instead of taking percussion
Methods, yeah.
for music therapy, take this class.
And like one of the times the concussion methods offers is like 7:30 in the morning.
It's like,
So
oh,
it's
thank
like-
you.
If for those of you who prefer 7:30 p.m. instead of a.m.,
Okay.
this is also a course.
So your opinion as a businessman,
Yes,
would health rhythms be a good thing to put on our
Yes.
music therapy equipment?
yes, yes. And I cannot overstress, I know I've said it and I said it earlier, the skill sets that you use in group dynamics and engaging people one-on-one, the interpretive skills, just powerful, okay? And as music therapists, you live in that world. In my career in the business, marketing, I ran training departments, marketing departments, sales departments, I mean, it wasn't a senior level exec, but I ran some good-sized stuff. never the brightest, never the smartest, but I just had good people skills, and I knew how to interpret groups, and I took it for granted. I didn't know that was my art. I didn't know that was my craft. But then once I did, I'm like, oh, that's why I'm successful. Music therapists have that resonant skill set in them. You interpret, you speak, you clarify, you listen, you observe. Everybody doesn't do that. How do you take that to impact where you're trying to go professional? If you're trying to work and running your own business, how do you leverage and translate those skills into getting clients, and creating business, into marketing, into telling your story? If you're gonna do it as a career, how do you do that within an organization to impact so that you can move up or around or wherever you wanna go? Okay, so how do your skill sets as a music therapist apply to building a career or building a business? Very, very critical. You need to have that in your mind all the time. Yeah. Did I answer that question? Okay. Because sometimes I just go all over the place.
Just so you know, we're just under 10.
Okay.
Alright, so, hopping off of Kat's question about, like, asking, like, if, like, the companies ask for
Yeah.
research, have you ever done, like, in-service, I forget what this is called, like, in-service where you bring in your stuff and you, like, lead, like, an in-service session with, like, some of the company leaders?
In-service is throwing me a little bit. Somebody help me? I'm not sure of the question. If you're saying, have I went in and worked with leadership teams doing health rhythms? Yes.
Like, say you meet a company and you go, hi, I offer services for stress mitigation,
Okay.
do you?
Oh, you go to their turf.
Yeah, you go to their turf and you lead a session with, like, the company leaders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you bring your own drums? How many do you
Sometimes I have hundreds of drums. When I first started off, now, marketing guy, business guy, all kinds of stuff, big companies, blah, 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 blah. And this is just not for lip service. I got about 3 minutes. My first year when I went out to do this, I made no money. Good thing is I overmarried, so that's good, okay? So, you know, she had a good job. But, okay, so I brought all the marketing skills and everything that I knew from big business and all that kind of stuff and brought it in how my first approach to getting clients got 0. Literally the first year, 0. Okay, we're gonna have to do this a little different. Right? So, but what you learn, okay, what do? You adapt. What's going on? And I said, okay, I'm in the referral-based business market. One client at a time, one customer at a time. Service that customer well, and then begin to market around that. And then applying those marketing skill sets and things that I knew. And that's how I built my practice in business, okay? And there's nothing in my background that should say that I'm here today. Okay? But there's everything in my background of who I am, how I approach, and what I've brought to the table that says this is why I am here today. Okay? So you have to know what you're good at, know how your skill sets that you're learning here can be applicable to where you're trying to go. Okay? Second year I made a little bit more money. Okay? Third year we do it even better. And I'm very pleased that I was having dinner with one of my bosses who's senior at some big company, and he says, I can't, you know what, you've been doing it 15, 16 years now, just all my, yes I have. Yay, okay? But I built that practice one customer at a time, one client at a time. If you're inside a company, you build your reputation one boss at a time, one good job at a time, and all of these things matter. It's no different, just different arenas, but you have to be able to communicate that. And as music therapists, you bring observational skills that other people don't. It's a competitive advantage. How many have ever taken a math class? And you've seen people next to you solve a problem in 10 seconds and you've worked on it for 10 hours. That is their competitive advantage, okay? Can you do it? Yes. Can you compete with them as effectively? No. Your competitive advantage, what is it? You listen, you observe, you care, you communicate. Big win in the marketplace, everywhere, if you can make it work for you. Other question, I got about 1 minute, one more go, or am I good? 3, 2, helpful?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for honoring me to be here. Hope to see some of you in my class, and we dig into all this stuff, okay? Thank you. Let's put the drums away, or do you want to escape quickly? We need to tackle some of this stuff.
And just if you want to pay your dues, we can do that.
And you pay your yearly dues, you get your t-shirt, so just show us the Venmo record and get it.
Yeah.
Anybody got change for 20?
Welcome to MTSO. Feel good about it.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you so much, Ryan.
You're welcome. Hey, I might be doing something at the MIM with a autistic group.
Okay.
Maybe I can have some of the students come up and join me. Okay.
Send us an email.
Okay, I'll keep you posted. I just got asked about that today. Yeah, so
Emily, where does this go?
And guys, pull out drawer that says metal instruments. You're gonna put it in
Metal
there.
instruments.
I'm not very well. That was a No, oh, yeah, yes. That's Prescott, right?
Emily, you didn't have, did you have a research class?